My great-grandfather, Artemis Shay, was an adventurer and an archaeologist. He had a great interest in a relic, called by many to be the diamond of art power. This mysterious diamond was told to be the creative force behind the pharaohs of Egypt, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and many others through history. He kept a diary of clues and notes about the diamond, vowing that one day he would find it. And then, a picture of the Colosseum in Rome sparked a memory of a piece he'd seen in a window of the antique shop nearby. He went there, he bought the picture, and taking it home, discovered there was an ancient map attached to the back. He looked it over. Could this really be the map to lead him to his treasure? Artemis set out on an expedition the next day. It was a dangerous undertaking, to be sure. Starting off from his art room, he headed west around the White Mountains, over Devil's Peak, and then turning south, avoiding the desert wasteland. He crossed the Bywater Bridge and faced the dangers of the Dragon's Lair, but at last found himself at the mouth of the cave, just east of Skull Island. Artemis crept slowly through the cave, inching closer, step by step, and then suddenly the cave opened up into a room. And there it was. It was his at last. Thanks to the map, Artemis had finally found the amazing diamond of art power. Okay, welcome back to the art room. I think these beginnings are just getting way out of hand here. Somebody tell me to stop. I just can't help myself. But thanks for being back with us here in the art room again. I'm going to do something today that I haven't done ever. We're coming up on 2 years, hard to believe, of making these art room videos, Mr. Shay's Art Room, and I've never asked you to subscribe yet, so I hope you'll consider subscribing if you haven't yet. It would help us out here, and we keep on making all these ridiculous art projects and art videos that we do. Okay, well, hey, anyway, this map project has been one of my favorite ones, for a long time. And it's just so much fun to make a treasure map. This one's pretty elaborate. It's the one we use in the show. And so, kind of before we get started, I want to give you a little bit of motivation for your map and maybe what your map is going to look like. Here's a scene from the Marauders map from Harry Potter. I love them. I love the walking feet. That's really a neat map. In the Lord of the Rings, I think it was from the Two Towers, I think, they're looking around at, the map of Middle Earth and everything. And then in the Goonies, I just love the Goonies map. They're looking for One-Eyed Willie's treasure. So let's get started then, and we'll kind of think about what kind of a map you'd like to make and where you're going and what you're going to do with it at the end. And then we'll show you after a bit how you turn a piece of paper like this into more of a piece of paper like that. Yeah, that's more map paper, but ours will be even better because we haven't torn that one. So first off, let's get a piece of paper and we'll prepare it by ripping the sides of it off, and start with the biggest one you can, because we're going to rip some of this away here. So we want to have a nice big piece of paper. This is a 12 by 18, but if you just have a 9 by 12, we'll have to do with that. That's fine. So I'm going to start on the edge here, and I'm going to tear an irregular surface, and every once in a while I'm going to kind of go in a little bit like that and just rip it away, make it look like it's an old piece of leather or parchment, or whatever those pirate guys used to use for their maps when they were making them. I'm going to go down here around the long way like that. Ooh, I like that really cuppy sort of ripped shape there. You might want to put your finger like right in here while you're tearing it. That way maybe your tear won't go farther than you want it to. I'm just ripping it down to the bottom like that. Okay, and let's come down this side too. Same kind of idea. That's a little too straight. I think I'm going to rip a chunk out of that right there. Nice big. That'll be like some, ooh yeah, like that. And then across the top, let's do the same thing. We'll get our map all ready to go. Okay. And you can see I've torn quite a bit of this away. So that's a good reason to start with the biggest piece of paper you can find laying around. All right. Oh, that's just great already. So talking about the components of a map, when you look at the one I did, you're probably going to want to have a compass rose, we call that. I'll show you that in a second. And maybe a starting point. Let's talk about the compass rose first, though, okay? All right, well, I'm going to get some kind of piratey colors here. It seems that most of these pirate maps have kind of a brownish look, and I really like that. It kind of has a neat look about being old and things. So I've got like 3 different browns out of my colored pencil set, and then I've got a green. I may want to put a little color in my compass rose, and red and yellow and blue. So, hey, but you can use any colors you like. So looking back again at my first compass rose design, it's cool, and let's do one of those first, and then we'll move on to the next part of our map together. So first thing I'll do is get my pencil, and I can put the compass any place I want. You remember some of those compasses were different in some of the other maps. So I think this time I'm going to just go just the way I did last time. I just kind of like that, so I'm going to sketch out a circle. Okay, and then through that circle I'm going to put an X shape. And if you remember our snowflake picture we did a couple of times ago, skydiving for snowflakes, you may remember this is kind of reminiscent of a snowflake design, actually. And once I do that, I think I'm going to also do something like that and something like that, and we've got a pretty nice start on our compass rose. So I'm going to pick out which way do I want to go first here. I'm going to do a north up here, and when you do this, just have fun with it and make it look kind of elaborate and wacky and crazy, like a pirate maybe would have drawn it that way. I'm kind of putting some cool little details in my lettering. So north and south. Let's see, we'll do that. Oh, I like that. Kind of a neat S for south there. And then east, of course, over here. We'll do an east direction. Make that look jazzy too, kind of fancy, kind of piratey. And then this is going to be the west indicator over here. Put a nice little turn on that. Okay, you getting it? All right. All right, looking good so far. And I'm not going to make you watch me do my whole compass rose. I'm going to go into fast motion and do my compass rose now, okay? While I'm drawing mine here, we'll just pause a little bit and show some other compass rose ideas up here that I found. And you may want to incorporate some of those ideas into your compass as well. It's pretty hard to do it wrong. I just love how fancy and how elaborate some of those examples look. Okay, I like that. I think that's gonna do it for my compass roads. I'll just kind of clean up some of that a little bit there, and then we'll kind of think about what our starting point wants to be. Going back again to my first map, I've got this starting point kind of down in the lower left, so I can make this long trip all over through all these different places. But you don't have to start there. I think maybe maybe I'll start up here this time, and this will be where our beginning part is, and we'll even label it like Shay's art room or maybe your house. And I'm going to do kind of an old Christopher Columbus sort of cross shape there, if you notice that. That'll be our starting point. Like that, yeah. You're going to have so much fun with your map. Okay. Alright, and I think I'll do a little border thingy here too, just to make it look a little more piratey here. The next thing we need to think about is, do you want to show like the continent that you're on or the island that you're on? And if you do, or you don't have to. You can just leave it this way. But that's what I'm going to do. If you do this, you can show some places that are outside, kind of in the ocean, or you can have sea monsters and things like that floating around outside your island. So what I'm going to do is take my pencil here, then I'm just going to sort of sketch around here, and I'm going to leave a little bit of area in some of these places to put some sailing ships or monsters or octopuses or whatever I want. There's like a little bay. I'm going to leave that little bay thing there and just go around and make it look kind of interesting and creative. And your compass rose can go right on top of your land there. It doesn't have to, you don't have to fit that in there. So that's going to be my island contour here, and oh, that's good. I'm going to have like a bay there, I think. All right. So now that it looks like that, I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to do some outlining and some more fast motion stuff here and shade it all in so I have this kind of a nice outside of my island. Okay, that's good. I think we'll just pause for a breath here. I think what I'm going to do next is make up, maybe, I think I'm going to put a little boat out in here, a little sailing ship maybe, something like that. This is kind of my little reference to, some little boat out there somehow in the harbor. And let's see, how about... hey, let's do some like cross swords here, like a pirate sword kind of thing here. That indicates something on our map. I'm not quite sure what that is. And how about like an octopus over here? That might be kind of fun here. Draw a little octopus guy out here, kind of he's kind of floating in the forbidden waters there. Okay, All right. Okay, well, here we go. This is the most important part of the whole project, I think, right here. It's like anything that you do in art has to have some kind of meaning for you as the artist, as the creator. And when I did my map, I keep getting it back here, I wanted to take you guys through this exciting journey with Artemis Shay, with the Diamond of Art Power. So that's really why I made the map to begin with. And I pointed at it, and I wanted to take you into the cave and do all that and have Artemis see the, finally find the diamond. So if this map is going to mean anything to you, it's got to have something that's kind of fun about it, maybe in your life or somewhere you're going to go or find something. And it wouldn't have to actually be in the fantasy land. You could actually set it up so that it's in your house. For instance, what if, instead of putting mountains here, you've got like, let's draw something here. You've got like the couch. Here's the couch in your house. Here, we'll draw like a picture of your couch. And in order for your people to get around, that's a good couch. And then let's see, over here we've got another thing like here's the goldfish bowl maybe, and there's a goldfish swimming in it, and he's like, maybe even know what his name is or something, the goldfish bowl. And then if you want to get really dangerous, you could have like the probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Here's the dangerous cat litter box. You don't want to go around there. That's that's like the dangerous part of your map. And all number of things that you could put in your house that only you know about. Like the here's a rug maybe. We'll draw a rug under here. And you put some designs on your rug and stuff like that. And so that this map means something to you when you're going around here in a minute, when we lay out our path through your house and around the fish bowl, and then around the dangerous litter box, and then finally over to whatever your treasure is. You're going to have some kind of a treasure that you're going to send your mom on, or treasure hunt on, or your dad or a grandma or somebody like that. In fact, we even did it once this way. If you want to, you can start them off and give them your map and say, well, make a little clue here, stick it under the couch, and when they get there, they'll have some encouragement about, oh, hey, I'm making my way along the map and I'm getting there, and that's where they get to find your cookies or something at the end like that. Okay? All right, so I think this time I'm going to draw some kind of Tolkien-y mountain ranges over here. Hilltops and things. Let's see, what am I going to be looking for this time? I'm not quite sure. Whatever it is over here on my map. Now I need some other obstacles so I can go around things here. So I think I'll put a swamp over here. Yeah, this is going to be like the deadly swamp. And then let's see, how about a river and a lake here? We'll do a lake. We'll name that lake something or other. And then we'll have a river that's coming out to the sea here. Make some, kind of tributaries on the river. And I could put, Mr. Shay's art room here, or your house. I could, start off with a drawing of, this is our base camp kind of thing. Make some different buildings and things there in our base camp. And seems like I need something else here. How about maybe an oasis over here if you want to stick like some palm trees. We got to have a place for our people to to rest and maybe regather their strength and that sort of thing. And let's just show like a river that they have to cross here maybe. Yeah, I like that, a river. And we can name the river, of course. And that's another part of the fun, naming all these different places, and then finally at the end figuring out where our footsteps are going to go. Okay? So on mine, and don't forget, if you're adding all these fun elements around your house and some other things, then this would be when you would be putting those into your map at this point. Not copying me. My map's just kind of a generic map here for you to kind of give some ideas, but excuse me, I'm going to go into fast motion now again and add some of the components of my map. Hey, so the next thing we want to think about now that we've got lots more details on our island here, you can see that I've named a lot of these places. Now we can trace a path around all of the objects, and if you're doing your your one for your family here, this is the time when you would actually need to think about, okay, where am I going to send them in the house here? Am I going to send them through different rooms? I'm going to have them go walk around things, the fishbowl, whatever, and plot that out. So what we need now is a set of like footprints here, and that's kind of fun. So I'll show you how I did it. First, you can see that I've got it's from the starting point. We're crossing the Genoa River around the Madagascar marshes, across the oasis of Pearl. Stop there for a minute. Maybe even go out to Frunel's Island out there, around the misty mountains, and then into that. Why am I sounding like Gandalf? I don't know. And then this is our treasure here, the Cross of Coronado. So we're going to make some footprints. I'm just going to take I drew my pencil line here, and I'm going to lay out these like little dots here along that line so that everybody knows how I went and how they should go to avoid all the dangers, that we've created here. And let me do that in fast motion for you as well. Okay, and of course you'd be, doing the same thing around your little map that, we're working on. You'd want to have that set of footprints going around to your little map at home. Okay, so now we get to finally the end where we get to get out our water paint sets. And what's the difference between my first map and my second map? Well, just the watercolor treatment that we're going to use to make it look kind of old. So hold on tight. Here we go. We're going to take our map and roll it up. Okay, roll it up like that and scrunch it and crunch it. Now don't overdo it, and try not to tear anything, especially around the edge. So be kind of careful and kind of aware of how crunchy you're getting. Hey, oh, that's great. I like that. I think I'm going to crunch it back the other direction a little bit and get it a little bit more crunchy. Like so. Okay. And I'm trying to create some nice wrinkles. So take your time uncurling the map for sure. We put all that work into it. Okay. Oh, that's great. So now I'm going to get my brown watercolors here, and I've got my little cereal bowl full of water. Thanks, Mom, for letting me have the cereal bowl. Cereal bowl full of water, and a piece of paper towel, or you can use a paintbrush if you like. I'm going to try both techniques here, I think. And, whoops, dropped my paper towel. And I'm going to get my paper towel wet here. Not too wet, just, you know, damp. I'm going to go over my map here with water. Okay, so there we go. And now into the brown watercolors. Work that in. Be kind of mindful of how much pressure you're putting on your paper. And we're just going to dab that in there like that. Oh yeah. Getting very piratey looking here. I'm just kind of, at this point, putting sort of a even coat over my map. Get that stuff out of there. And my desk never seems to be big enough. I can use up all the room. Okay. Oh yeah, that's terrific. And I might put a couple little weird marks here, like little dark places with my brush, like, you know, maybe they're little torn places, or that's a little too much right there, I think. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to add a little bit of yellow orange too. If you have orange in your set, I think I'm going to put a little bit of orange in there too. I kind of like that. A little bit more of a golden look about it, a little older look. And those nice cracks that we made are showing up really nicely there too. Okay. And I could be doing this just as well with my paper towel, of course. Let's see, maybe a little bit of brown around the edge here, maybe. Kind of accentuate that nice edge that we have. I just love the feeling of painting. And a lot of these details will come back if it looks like your map's getting covered up too much. I think you'll find that a lot of this will show up a lot better at the end here after we let it dry. Okay. All right. Well, that is looking pretty good, and what I'm going to try to do next here is get my map up off the table without ripping it. It's kind of delicate at this point, and I'm going to put it someplace where, you know, I can let my map dry up a little bit better. So I will be back here with a dry map as soon as it's dry. I'm going to say let's leave it for at least 20 minutes or so, maybe longer. I'll tell you when I get back how long you need to leave yours. Okay, well, hey, I'm back, and it took about an hour for my map to dry here, and it's still a little bit damp, but we're good to go here. So thanks for being such a great bunch of artists following along with us. So some final thoughts. I took some colored pencils after this dried, and as maybe you can tell, I've outlined a little bit more clearly some of the things that kind of disappeared when I put the water on. And here's a great idea that I just cooked up. I took a toilet paper roll and I chopped off a chunk like that, and then using my my black paint, I painted this tube here. That's part of a toilet paper roll, and I just happen to have some of these little diamond thingies from the Hobby Lobby laying around that we've had around here, and that's going to be my map holder. So whoever gets my map, I'm going to roll it up like this, and you know, send my map into that map holder there, and that's how I'm going to give it to them. The secret treasure map, that's going to be what they get to do to find the map. And I hope if you did a map around the house, I hope yours works out great. I would love to hear from anybody that did their map and what happened with their map. So, terrific. And like we always say, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, remember, you've got something to be proud of. You're an artist. Stick with it. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here next time in Mr. Shay's Art Room.